up against Erin on the left there, again, in this kind of mirror match.
Yeah, going to be an interesting one for sure, because tempo is usually an important factor in the trading card game, but in this matchup it's going to be often about where you time your knockouts and how you're taking those multiple prizes. As we see the two up here, it's yeah, the same archetype for both players.
A couple of interesting inclusions. I've had a chance to speak to Robin's brother, Philip, as well about this. Has a Rotom V as the tech card of choice, being able to use it as a, of course, an out to the Forest Seal Stone to utilize that fantastic V-Star ability during the game, but also just to be able to draw cards. Going first, it was something that Philip highlighted to me, that just being able to draw an additional 3 cards with that instant charge, something we've seen already in that Snorlax stall deck, but really puts him in a great position to kind of start setting up those combos.
Yeah, I think it's been a debate in the community of whether you should play Pidgeot V or Entei V, and Robin saying, how about this Rotom instead, gaining those 3 additional cards when you are so focused on setting up and using your early supporter cards just on the likes of Battle VIP Pass to get your initial board state going. Getting those additional 3 cards can really help you accumulate a stage 2 combination, where you need to have rare candy as well as your stage 2. Ideally, it's Pidgeot EX, and from there, the engine really starts rolling. Notably, both of these players are utilizing the Pidgeot EX approach rather than the Barrel Technical Machine evolution. That's also an ongoing debate in the community. It feels like, in Brazil at least, the Brazilian contingent of players did best with Pidgeot, and again, we see 2 players here with Erin and Robin on fantastic records, rocking the Pidgeot EX with that quick search ability. Yeah,
quick search, such a powerful, powerful ability there. Just once per turn, being able to search a deck for any card and putting it into your hand. Just a bit of a throwback to previous Pidgeots as well. It's just an incredible sort of card to have come out. Of course, it is a stage 2, but when it fits so nicely, kind of setting up those combo pieces with other rare candy stage 2 decks, I mean, it's nothing to be shown against.
No, it's incredible. It's the best way that you can protect yourself on the board from Iono, as you said, but also to make sure you're having the most powerful turns possible. It does feel like oftentimes Pidgeot EX is looking to grab boss's orders or Iono. We're very much in that format where you pick your favorite and whichever you can do on that turn is the best choice for you. But now there's also Counter Catcher in the mix for both players, so we can see Iono plus Counter Catcher now. That could be a huge power swing. If you're able to take out your opponent's Pidgeot whilst also hand disrupting, you can really make the game chaotic in the mid game.
No, this is going to be vital here. I think both players have just decided who will be going first. We'll get confirmation just as we begin setting up. Where would you like to? Would you like to go first in this matchup, Joe?
Typically, you want to go second with Charizard, and I still feel like that's reasonable, especially because you're often going to have a purely single prize board state to kick things off. So I think you're actually laying a trap for your opponent if they are able to pop off with Rare Candy Charizard and take the first swing. That can actually end up in your benefit. So as long as neither player starts with a 2-prize Pokemon, especially Luminion, something like that, it could be huge. But you've just had a big inhale of breath. I think we've seen some of Erin's prizes there.
We thought Battle VIP Pass, double VIP Pass, both players just double checking the handshake and
the
fist
handshake in the end.
But what we just saw there was a double Pidgey prizing, which could completely change the way this game will play out.
That is really rough. Erin is not going to be happy about this. We have a Pidgeot V plus Forest Seal Stone start for Erin, so they will be able to search Battle VIP Pass here, but they're going to have some bad news. There's no Hisuian Heavy Ball in the deck list, so it is just going to be grabbing more Charmander, maybe Celebrations Mew as their only bailout at this stage to start digging towards rare candies. This is not what you want to see in this game 1.
No, not ideal. Of course, with Erin deciding to play that Pidgeot V over anything, something like the Rotom. I'm a big fan of the Vanishing Wings ability as well, sort of utilizing the Forest Seal Stone, using your V-Star power, and then being able to just kind of run away when necessary.
Yeah, it's really nice. You want to clear up your board, force the most amount of hit points through the opponent as possible. That's where Charizard shines. 330 hit points is monstrous, and making your opponent have to 2-shot through these Charizards is typically the way you get the better of your opponent.
It's quite cool that Pidgeot V could actually tank a hit as well. Initially from the early stages, only just 180 to begin with from Burning Darkness. Initially anyway, as we do see Erin there grabbing the Battle VIP Pass, just double checking, making notes. A lot of our top players nowadays are sort of just finding easier ways.
Yeah, well, okay. We know what's being written right there.
No
big
Pidgeys.
Exclamation marks. Where are they?
These lists, both players obviously not playing anything like the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Typically their lines are quite thick anyway for their Charmanders and sort of their main attackers are going forward. So nothing like a Hisuian Heavy Ball to help out here, but potentially if they could take early prizes, maybe try and get that established then. But of course, you've got to start thinking about activating your Burning Darkness for your opponent.
Yeah, nothing too suspicious so far from Erin. Because grabbing another Charmander, always reasonable. Grabbing the Mew is reasonable. I think Robin's not yet on high alert that the Pidgeys are prized, but it may become more clear as the game progresses. Erin will begin with a Mysterious Tail. It's a fantastic card in this deck list. We've also seen Gardevoir play it for many months now, and especially against the mirror match, where there is no pressure coming down in the opening stages, you can get double dips of this Mysterious Tail.
Yeah, this is going to be the telling moment here, that the second Battle VIP pass.
Now we're going to,
really reveal what's going on Erin's side of the board. And Robin will be perhaps licking his lips a little to say, well, you don't quite have the setup that I may be able to get.
Typically, the matchup becomes a game of cat and mouse of when you can hit that threshold of 300 damage or 270 plus Vitality Band. Only Robin is playing that card in their deck list right now, but also Defiance Band can do a similar thing here, where you take out your opponent's Pidgeot and ruin their engine. I think that is a crucial thing that can happen during the game, and not even having to worry about that is going to be really handy for Robin. And we just know that Erin is going to be really just reliant on supporter draw throughout the majority of this game until they can find some Pidgey.
Yeah, it looks like just a single grab of the Charmander on the board here. So just a 3 to work with. I believe Erin may be playing the full 4 copies of Charmander in his list. Robin, of course, trying to fit in additional cards. Actually, no, he's playing 4.
Just the variety package.
The variety
is we've got the promo, we've got the 60 hit points. I think players have realized that the 30 damage for one attachment is so vital right now at times for just getting over key thresholds that they take the lower hit points, especially with the Jirachi coming out from Paradox Rift. You have much more license to use 60 hit point Charmanders and 50 hit point Pidgeys because you're less worried about Sableye overtaking your board in one turn.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Call for Family Pidgeys that allow both players to continue setting up their board state, as Robin already identifies his own Pidgey from that level ball and just moving it to the front of the deck. Of course, just going through as well, just double checking what is prized from his side. It does select the Pidgey down, just kind of showcasing, well, I've got mine.
Was this what you were looking for? I've got Pidgey ready and waiting.
Battle VIP pass as well. So a strong start from both players, just unfortunately Erin not able to work through and grab a Pidgey because they are prized.
Yeah, it looks like Robin's going to end up on a much more preferable board state in this opening. It's going to be the Rotom V coming down as well, so Robin can even end on a really large hand size, which is another fantastic thing to note, especially because these Stage 2 archetypes, they usually need good old Arven to grab either Ultra Ball or Rare Candy. So you have a decent shot of your hands remaining after this instant charge from the Rotom V.
Yep, just showcasing his V's greatest power here, that instant charge, in comparison to Erin. So there are slight nuances in this, but the matchup will really sort of come down to the, will I take the knockout here? Will I activate your Burning Darkness? How do I set up my board state? Is there instant charge there? Drawing out the 3 and ending your turn. Unfortunately, there is no way, I believe, for Robin to remove the Rotom in play, so it could be an easy target later down the line.
Yeah, no Collapse Stadium, no Professor Churros scenario in the deck list, just going with the heavy Lost City count actually at 3.
Yep.
So that is always 2 prizes for Erin at some point, but it's not necessarily the worst thing for you to give up a couple prizes early, because that's when Charizard gets so dangerous. As we pass things over back to Erin, and we have an Ultra Ball for the early Charizard EX, that's always a good sign. You want to get this in the mix. As your main attacker, you thin the deck so nicely of your energy as well. We have the natural Rare Candy, which is great to see, and we will see energy flowing through the deck now.
Do you also typically see other sort of fire attackers? We've seen some Entei's with Charizard EX before, both players opting not to play anything like an Entei V as well.
I think Entei V is normally like a package deal alongside Churro or the Penny, and when neither player is choosing to play those cards, the Entei gets much less valuable because you end up just giving up those prize cards and whatnot. I still feel like Entei's a decent attacker because there are so many archetypes that go wide early, and then you allow your Charizard to become you know, at that 240 threshold, then you're able to get through Iron Hands and you're able to get through some of these EX Pokemon that you can't naturally reach too easily. So I actually like the Entei still in the deck list, but our two players here have found a different alternative in Rotom and Pidgeot, and there's still great reasons around that.
Yeah, this scenario here, in this type of very close, sort of maybe 56 card mirror almost, really is a type of chess match here to kind of activating your opponent's traps and anything that you can set up.
Ooh,
but
here we go, second
Erin's
rare candy.
Yeah, double rare candy.
Not sure if he's able to
option.
utilize it, but just having it in the hand stashed is also pretty good. This was one of the things I was concerned about with no Pidgeot. How was Erin going to be able to assemble their board? But they found no issue so far with Charizard ready to go. Just going to scout how many cards are in Robin's hand. Of course, there was an instant charge here before making any decisions. It is going to be the payment of retreats for the Mysterious Tail Mew into Charizard. And taking a prize is by no means a bad thing.
Has the boss
especially
as well.
on a Pidgey. Yeah.
This is, you know, my board set is basically still the same as yours now because your Pidgey's going down.
If I can't have it, you can't have it. Let's deal with the Pidgey. Taking a single prize knockout, it's always something you have to try and fix later on in the matchup because you rarely want to go down to 5. You don't want to go down to 1 prize card remaining because that allows a clean Charizard EX to be knocked out by an opposing Charizard EX. So you've initiated the prize race, that's fantastic, but you do have to be concerned about fixing this later on in the game, as Robin is going to try and force the most awkward prize map available. And thanks to the combination of Rotom and just holding on to a decent hand size last turn, Robin is also bouncing back with a Charizard EX here. Yeah,
another card I haven't quite noticed in Robin's list is there's no Radiant Charizard, if I'm not mistaken.
That's wild. Yeah, there's none. He's just saying deal with the meat. Get through these Charizard instead.
So, you know, typically, you know, Erin may be thinking, well, if I take this 1 prize here, that Radiant Charizard might come down at some stage as a sort of very efficient attacker with that fantastic ability and Combustion Blast attack, but he's not going to be seeing one.
No, and Robin plays no switch cards whatsoever, actually. So that's possibly why there's no Radiant Charizard, because if that guy stays in the active, that could be a real problem for you. Typically, you would expect with an Arven package at least 1 escape rope. That's pretty much the standard counts, but Robin's just having maximum counts of stadium bounces, ball search cards, and just sticking with other 4-ofs and interesting cards like Avery in the deck list instead.
Yeah, it does have the Charizard in the active spot himself now, with the 2 energies attached to it. Ultra Ball being played, does have access to another Pidgey, at least saying, well,
we'll find a way.
You've dealt with 1, I've got 1 more, let's see how he goes.
Definitely a debate for Robin now. There is Defiance Band in the hand. How can you make that math work best for you? This is the big damage modifier that's come into Charizard more and more frequently with the amount of EXs dominating the game over the amount of V attacking Pokemon. This allows Charizard to reach much earlier onto opposing EXs. The likes of Chempal, the likes of Miraidon have been dominating the game in the last few months, so it definitely makes sense to have this inclusion now.
Yep, just another way to ramp up that damage, which is so vital in these types of decks. And because you're a stage 2 deck, you do find yourself occasionally going behind, or maybe more often than you would realize. And that's why in the inclusion of that, not just the Defiance Band, but you've got the counter catchers as well, and a couple of other little small packages that you can use as he just swing into
I like this choice.
Erin's Charizard EX.
Yeah, it's keeping Erin's Charizard limited to 180 damage, which is great. It means the Rotom currently isn't an easy target for Erin. And ultimately, you're only ever looking to 1-hit KO 1 Charizard EX in the best case scenario. So you're going to have to get through these eventually. Your opponent hasn't got the Pidgeot developed, so let's at least make it hard for them. Because Erin's sat on a small hand size, don't forget, right now.
Yeah, now it's just kind of, it's always this thing about asking questions to your opponent, as we do see the Vanishing Wings there, being able to shuffle that Pidgeot V back into the deck alongside any cards attached to it as well. So is a way of kind of staying out of being decked out by a lot of different archetypes.
Yeah, interesting timing on this. Maybe it indicates that Erin has some draw in the hand, because you don't really like filling your deck with this Pidgeot and Forest Seal Stone now that it's been used. They're 2 kind of not helpful cards. And currently Robin is dealing 210, so maybe you just don't want to have those 2 prizes available. Yeah, it's just going to be no other actions, just trying to not give Robin the easy 2 prizer. Just going to swing for 180 back into Robin now.
Yeah, just had a quick double check as well. I don't believe Erin may not have actually faced a mirror during his run so far. Robin has faced 1. It was a tie. But, you know, just getting that little bit of experience of how the matchup kind of plays out. You know, you often, when you're testing against the rest of the meta. You don't always test against a mirror match in too much, with too much effort anyway sometimes, because sometimes it just comes down to the draw. But, you know, that little bit of experience that Robin has already gone through may be quite telling in this scenario.
Robin's hand seems poor enough that they are forced to use Luminion for Arven for Forest Sealstone Rare Candy. This would get the Pidgeot EX online, or just an immediate Charizard if you would prefer instead. But you are then leaving some easy prize cards. Like you said, there's no Professor Churro, there's no Collapse Stadium. Rotom and Luminion V are both easy end-game prizes for Erin. As we are going to see the immediate flip of the Forest Sealstone so that Robin can complete this Stage 2 combo. It is going to be the Pidgeot EX here.
So all those combo pieces coming together now. Once you get one Pidgeot EX up, you tend to be able to get the next Charizard up quite easily as well.
Charmeleon's a good way to do that as well.
Yeah, I just wonder, with that inclusion of Rotom V, that you only really get one opportunity to use Instant Charge. Is it generally enough value by free cards?
We got online, even with the Pidgey getting KO'd, so I don't mind the inclusion. I just think it feels right that it would be alongside a Collapse Stadium. Because you do love going wide, and this is a Pokemon that, as you say, does get the diminishing returns. But Robin's just having high counts of cards, and you can't really question that.
Lost City could take out, could remove the Charizard EX and the spot from play, but just announces Burning Darkness goes ahead in prizes now, activating a lot of what Erin is capable of, but Erin does need a lot of pieces here. Is that a Luminion?
Yeah,
it is a Luminion.
V comes to the hand. That could be huge. Does have the Arven already, so could Arven themselves for Forest Sealstone Ultra Ball if they really want to. And then just have the fodder from the Forest Sealstone. It's going to be the Mew first. That is Ultra Ball Rare Candy as a combo now. We've seen the Mew grab Rare Candy on a previous turn. So we should have access to the Charizard EX here to bounce back and respond and keep up with this prize race. It's just what else can be cobbled together here for Erin.
When do you find a way to maybe disrupt Robin's side? Do you need to ever maybe target down that Pidgeot V? Not Pidgeot EX, sorry.
Yeah, we're not quite at that threshold yet where Charizard can do it.
Yeah.
So we've got to wait a little longer. I feel like Erin's going to be happy going through Charizard EX this turn. And just has to maybe look to take a single prize knockout on the future turn. But that, again, like you said, it keeps the Pidgeot around.
Yeah.
And that means Robin will be in control, really, of the tempo of the game, you would think.
Erin obviously not been able to take the Pidgey from the prizes as of yet. This looks like an opportunity to do so. Once it has been played, we do see the Arven come down now. Of course, taking the Forest Sealstone has already been used, but it's just an option to take out there.
Yeah, that's our fodder. I think that and Lost Vacuum can get discarded pretty happily. It's going to be a third Rare Candy banked into the hand. I really like this, actually. Just try and have something going for you more than just this Charizard immediately.
Yeah, just need to chain those Charizard EXs, or chain sort of the combo pieces required here to be able to just, you know, stay in the game. You don't have that consistency with that Pidgeot EX on your side of the board, so you need to be able to keep up with the tempo. Charizard EX there, target from the Ultra Ball. We're going to see another fantastic use of that ability, Infernal Rain.
Yeah, Erin does have the opportunity to put down Luminion here, almost bait Robin into taking another easy 2-prize Pokemon, but the worry with that is, because Erin is on those odd prizes, it would then open up things like Defiance Band to even finish off a Charizard later, so I think you have to just hold the Luminion, accept that just punching into your opponent's Charizard EX is the best turn possible, and only really use this Luminion if you have to.
Yeah, so again, thinking about that kind of chess match we've got going on here, but Robin still has the queen in that Pidgeot EX on the board.
It's a king. It's a linchpin.
It is a linchpin. Well, yeah, it's so vital.
But in
your
chess,
game
a queen
plans.
is the most versatile piece, and that's exactly why Pidgeot is serving that role.
You got
I got there in the end. Charizard does have somewhat of a crown on his head as a Terrastal evolution.
Here we go. We're just swinging in. Burning Darkness taking another 2 prizes. Now going ahead from Erin's side. Pidgeot EX, just free retreat as well. Oh my god, so much. There's so much going for it.
There's nothing Pidgeot EX can't do, Alex. There's no easy combination. Well, actually, with the Charmander, there's an easy way to get Charizard EX. You can just go Lost City plus Iono here if you would like to. Limit down Erin. We know Erin took another rare candy. From Robin's perspective, it may have just been the rare candy used, of course, but if he's been tracking the entire game, he knows that Celebration's Mew plus Arven, there's another rare candy in the top of that hand.
There's the
so
Iono.
I think Robin doesn't really need to draw anything here, as we have the backup of Quick Search. Robin will be able to at least punch into this Charizard this turn and feel pretty content with the turn with this disruption in tow.
Yeah, 3 cards for Erin, for Robin.
No dice on Ultra Ball or Charizard EX, so that's got to be the search choice here with Pidgeot EX.
That versatility allowing Robin to do so, though. So, gonna see it coming raining down once again. More Fire Energies.
Robin taking a moment to see what's worth it. He's got a couple Arven in the hand for options in future turns. Nothing fantastic, but again, the disruption was the key element of this turn, and you're keeping up in tempo by just swinging with the Charizard EX here. Even though you're not taking prizes, you're happy on this prize map, I would say.
Yeah, there we go. Another Charizard EX hitting the field. 5 energies left in deck, so plenty enough for another Charizard to come down at some point, latter stages of the game.
Yeah, happy to see the Charmander just gain a free attachment. Let's get it out of the deck so you can improve your top decks. Even with Charizard accelerating in the future, doesn't really matter too much to you.
Yeah,
you don't want to draw into Fire Energy. Those are the worst things you can find because you can get them out for free.
Yeah, I think Erin was just double checking all those energies that have been gone through as well. It's just a 2 that Robin took from the first Charizard EX that did go down.
Right.
So just managing those resources really well here. Really keen on understanding what's in Erin's hand currently.
A decent chunk into this Charizard EX with the Burning Darkness. 3 prizes having been taken from Erin. You're always looking to 2-hit KO at this stage.
270 damage.
Yeah. Let's see how Erin's hand shapes up after the Iono. Well, there's Boss's Orders.
There's a Radiant Charizard, but Boss's Orders would really help here. The Radiant Charizard to try and
if you go down to 2 prize cards, that's okay. Especially okay if because Robin doesn't have any Radiant Charizard in his own deck list, actually. It would be a great play if you just took out Charmander.
Yep.
Just the way the list is built.
I would really like to see that happen, but he's just kind of double-checking himself. So many cute little lines.
Also, just taking the single prize means you at least get Iono to 1 more card here.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough, though. This is not an easy choice at this stage. There's a lot of good Boss's Orders targets on this board.
Yeah, we can see it with like a lot of players. You know, their eyes would light up when they see a boss in hand, able to take easy 2 prizes and put them closer to victory.
We're edging towards this Charmander.
Is it in line?
We're definitely playing it.
In that horizontal line of the Charmander is where we're seeing it. That's the...
Erin going into the think tank, you can see. Not sure. Definitely wants to play it.
Yeah. But what's the target here?
I really like the Charmander choice. It's going to be the Rotom V, which is, you know, also fine because there's already a heavily damaged Charizard. So going down to 1 prize doesn't matter. This Charizard was always going to go down anyway.
Yep.
But it really puts you on the clock now to finish off the game. You are holding on to that Defiance Band, so if you can work towards your next Charizard EX, you do just close out immediately here. Robin will be forced to take a 2 prize knockout, you would think.
Yeah.
To win in 2 attacks.
Defiance Band, if you have more prizes, cards remaining than your opponent, the attacks of this Pokemon does 30 more damage to the active. So
but Defiance Band can never come online, yeah.
Exactly for Erin, unfortunately.
This is why we wanted to see the Charmander swing.
This is
it's tough.
Really important turns here. You know, these are the turns that will define the rest of your tournament, potentially pushing yourself into top 8. You do see some vital grabs from Quick Search available as well for Robin.
It's what we've said right at the start of the game. 1 person has been able to develop Pidgeot EX, and that person has been in control of the tide of the game.
Yeah, Ultra Ball for the Charizard EX. Pidgeot
no prizes
for the
guessing.
rare candy.
Yeah, no prizes there for guessing what was the selection for Robin here. You can see another Infernal Rain. You can also swing an energy onto Luminion, just in case your opponent is going to try and trap you for a panic play.
Looking for that opportunity to try and checkmate where possible, but of course not completely available yet.
Just board state wise, you're in such a good position as Robin now. You know that swinging with these Charizards, the only real way you can lose is with Rare Candy, Charizard plus Boss's Orders, and that's a huge combination without Pidgeot EX on Erin's side of the field.
Yeah, Robin just double-checking his own resources. Has he played to all of his outs possible?
Going to see the Arven. I think Robin only plays 2 copies of Iono, so he's going to weave in the Arven now. I don't think, is the other Iono even in the deck list here? Is it even, could it even be in the prize cards? I think we've only seen 1 played so far.
We've only seen 1.
So if he can grab that from prizes, it could be huge here. As Robin's just going to thin out a level ball as well. Get a Mew EX, sorry, just a Mew from Celebrations out of the deck. So if Robin's able to take Iono from prizes, that could really allow him to get in an even better board state over the next turn, because you're going to finish off this Charizard, you're going to take a hit with your Charizard, then you're going to look to retreat and use another Charizard EX. If you can do that with an Iono, you're in a really commanding position.
Yeah, it comes down to this for Erin. 1 prize that needs to be taken. A couple of cards there, yeah, from I think
Lost
maybe
Zone
from both sides need to
Lost
be
City.
Lost Zone because of Robin's Lost City there. Mew in the active with that Mysterious Tail ability. Top deck's a
Lost City, that's no good.
Not useful at all.
Yeah, there's Pidgey. This is a really bad hand.
Just single prizes on the board.
Yeah, you're going to have to sacrifice a turn, try and use this Mew to get you closer, and hope for the best. Obviously, you probably need to make another Charmander here. You don't have to, because Radiant Charizard could close on a Luminion, of course.
Just the 1 target, which is the Battle VIP pass.
Yeah, that's not one of the pieces we're after. Not getting us any closer.
This might be is this the first shuffle that's available for Erin since that Iono as well? So he did have that Rare Candy towards the bottom of the deck.
That's true.
So now it's shuffled around.
Okay, we just the Defiance Band. I mean, that's just never live anyway.
Yep.
You already have enough junk in the hand for any Ultra Ball that comes in, so it is just going to be a pass. Robin just has 2 prize cards remaining. Will get a freebie this turn. Could chase either Radiant Charizard or Charmander. I feel like Radiant Charizard is the safest choice here.
Not too sure. Of course, has Pidgeot EX, so can decide.
We can always grab what we want.
Doesn't matter about the hand. We will just.
The Iono wasn't taken from the prizes. Crucially, I think even Iono and just punch the Mew makes you pretty safe. Your opponent would have to draw the exact combination of Fire Energy plus Boss's Orders.
Yeah, again,
one Boss's Orders has been played.
Comes down to resources that are available.
Robin still has Counter Catcher available as well, so could
still live.
Counter Catcher the Radiant Charizard.
So many
taking
options.
out the Mew could be sorry, not taking out Mew is also debatable, because it gives your opponent reach to other item cards. Could give you reach to Ultra Ball, which gets Luminion, which gets Boss's Orders as well. So maybe Mew's the most valuable target.
Does grab the boss here, moved to the front of the deck.
Yeah, I think due to prizing, I think the obvious choice is Knockout Active Iono, but that's not available. Yep. That's in the prize cards, the last 2 for Robin. So it is going to have to be the Boss's Orders in the end. And I think you lose to the fewest cards via the Radiant Charizard. So I'd like to see Boss's Orders on Radiant Charizard this turn. Allow your opponent to have Mysterious Tail Mew for a Rare Candy combination, but make them have the actual boss naturally in the hand as well.
Still needs all of the other pieces.
Yeah.
But you never know. Stranger things have happened. Boss moved to the front of his hand here. Robin just playing it out in his own mind as well. Second guessing himself a little, maybe.
This is really close. I don't mind getting rid of Mew here at all either.
No, I don't think there's a,
because taking a 1 prize means that Candy Charizard is just a response game here, because you're going down to just 1 prize card left. Honestly, Mew's scary, man.
Each
Mew to Rare
is,
Candy does all sorts.
Each play is not wildly wrong.
Yeah.
It just comes down to how
really thinking about this one.
It comes down to how you manage what your opponent has used from a resources perspective.
This is what Burning Darkness can do. It's going to be the Charizard in the end.
So going along with the first game plan.
Just going to get Boss's Ordered. It means your opponent can find Rare Candy Charizard and get a response KO here.
Here we go.
The one thing you have to bear in mind is there's a lot of energy in the discard pile as well, so there may not be enough to retreat this Mew, even if you do find the Charizard. That may have also come into Robin's thinking.
Top deck, Boss.
Wow.
In hand.
Well, Boss isn't the game.
Piece number 1, but I feel like there's 2 more pieces required. There's a Mew, Mysterious Tail, top 6.
You see Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball for Luminion for... Well, Iono doesn't do anything. There's a Pidgeot on the board.
Yeah.
Robin can close the game in any way that he likes here. I think Robin's found his way towards that checkmate.
There's the Ultra Ball. Is there any final way out here for Erin to kind of just finalize the game. One prize remaining, remember.
This game has gone on for over 25 minutes, and it's coming down to the crescendo here. We do see the Ultra Ball going to get rid of Battle VIP Pass and Lost City. Those are certainly dead cards.
It's also another way just to kind of check what resources are available left. Still quite a hefty deck.
Yeah, Charizard doesn't thin that much. It gets rid of its energy cards, but then you're cherry picking with,
very true.
the Pidgeot the whole time. So it's not surprising to see still loads of things going on in there. But I don't see any combination that can allow Erin to win at this stage, unless we're missing something massive.
Something like the counter catchers aren't live because he was already put himself down to one prize.
Yeah.
So is it just kind of double checking what your outs are, running it through his head?
You can Ultra Ball Luminion research, and then you have to research into Super Rod plus Candy Charizard. Is that all?
Is that all?
I'm not sure if there's any other line here. It's going to be a big Professor's Research.
Yeah.
We've got to see a few crucial cards here. If Erin can formulate a Charizard EX, it will be smacking for 330 damage. Let's just get that clear. But with the amount of energy in the discard pile right now,
you can't draw into any.
Can't draw into it. You would have to draw into, that Super Rod, as well as Candy Charizard. That's a lot.
Just the one fire energy, it looked like, right?
Is there any fire in the deck?
One.
Just one? Yeah, okay. So even something like an Escape Rope isn't out here. It has to be the Super Rod.
Massive. If you're just joining us on this stream for Gdańsk Regionals, this is round 14. Erin Kingma versus Robin Schulz. It is a mirror match. It's been a bit of a chess match this whole time throughout. Robin in a commanding position. Erin needing multiple pieces here.
7 massive cards. We've got to see Rare Candy Charizard. We've got to see Super Rod as well. No other combination will do it. Super Rod's there. Well, if we're seeing actions, did we get the whole combo?
Hang on a moment.
The
Free energies.
No.
Is it possible?
We're moving quickly. Rare Candy Charizard.
Super Rod.
Sometimes you get there. Erin with the massive Professor's Research. 7 cards, finding 3 of his one-of copies remaining to steal a win from Robin.
Wow. We didn't expect that to completely... It's a true nail-biter because he put himself in such a good position. Obviously, he was down to 1 prize. Required that Research, sorry, it was a Juniper, but Professor's Research, and just came down to that final few cards. Incredible scenes.
My goodness. I mean, Robin looked like he'd got in the best position possible. Couldn't get that Iono from prize cards, and didn't take out the Celebrations Mew. And ended up, there was a wonky way of doing it. It was a little bit fortuitous towards the end, but Erin was able to push to 330 damage with a response Charizard EX. That's how dangerous the Burning Darkness gets into the late game, and it was the perfect way to respond when your opponent has a far more intimidating board state, many more cards in hand. You were really hoping on that research, but it came in clutch.
Who needs Pidgeot EX, eh? Just not necessary.
Just draw what you want. 7 cards is loads, Alex.
Yeah, it doesn't matter about filling the deck and getting through it. It's just fine. Well, you have to ride the line of variance, and it was on Erin's side for that particular game. Robin, still plenty of opportunities to kind of bring this back, bring this home.
Yeah. And how many times do we say, doing well at a regional championships, it's not just enough to be a good player. It's not enough to have the right archetype. It's not enough to have the right matchups. You also need a little slice of luck in those mid-game play, and this time, Erin has a huge sigh of relief in that massive combo was assembled from Research, as we are getting into some prize cards here.
No access to Rotom V, no intercharge.
Those prizes, which is a shame for Robin.
But otherwise, nothing too crazy, right? So the one Pidgey, the Pidgeot V comes down nice and early once again.
With the Forest Seal Stone, they come as a package deal.
Yeah.
It's exactly why we see the Pidgeot in the deck list.
It's just another combo piece for a Battle VIP pass. Often.
Erin's holding on to Armor for next turn, so we can relatively happily just V-Star for a Battle VIP pass here. Get some Pidgey developed. There are actually some in the deck this time for Erin, which is always a nice thing.
Robin not with the not strongest of starts here with that Jirachi.
Not ideal.
Stellar Veil being a fantastic inclusion to a lot of decks, but mainly for little things like Yoga Loop or the Metachan Vs or the Sableye and Lost Mine.
Not for this moment,
No.
I think it's fair to say.
Charge Energy is kind of cool, but
you want energy in the deck.
Yeah.
That's where they're best.
So
I think Robin's
cool,
hand is awful as well. I see energy, boss's orders, boss's orders. Is there an Arven in there?
There's a Lost City, right?
Lost City. I think he's got nothing.
Not like this.
Just watching your opponent cherry pick a VIP pass and get an exceptional board as well. You've just lost a really tight game where you had to feel like you were in a better position to win. And you can just see Robin there dejected. He's replaying game one in his head and what he could have done differently.
Sometimes
these are the fine margins of Pokemon.
Just comes down to that final bit of draw, right? We've mentioned it. Just that little bit of variance, just earring on your side, will take you far, can take you places.
And this is a player who's won internationals, regionals, world championships. He's been at the highest level of the game for many years, and you can see that these small percentage plays still rattle through your head this whole time. And it always feels bad when your opponent just gets there, no matter how the odds were and how well you played to get to that position. Sometimes they still just have what they need. Erin's taking a few notes for prize cards here before electing to grab, I think it's the Mew and the Pidgey to fill out the board.
Yeah, really like the choices here as well, of course. The Celebrations Mew just helping with those combo pieces before you even get the Pidgeot EX up. Remember, both players are currently on 31 match points. Robin currently unbeaten, 904. Erin 10-1. A victory here will push either player that one step closer as just a pass over.
Ooh, Battle VIP pass.
Big top deck.
We're still in the game. Robin with the top deck to keep in it. Is able to grab Pidgey. Able to grab some Charmander now as well.
Maybe also the Mew, his own Mew, to kind of get going.
It's just going to be the Pidgey Charmander. I think there might still be the Arven in hand. I wasn't sure.
I couldn't see the last card.
Yeah. The fact that we're not seeing, well, you would possibly go Rotom. Yeah, well, Rotom's the prize card, so you can't go for that, of course. It is going to be the Arven, so you have something. And you can retreat into Mew as well this turn, possibly, or even keep it on the bench a little bit. You don't get the ideal situation of grabbing your Rotom and just grabbing a ton of additional cards here, so you're still sat on pretty much nothing after this, because you just have Fire Energy and Boss's orders in.
I mean, the only Forest Hill Zone target now is that Luminion V.
Do you ever VIP it onto the board?
Doesn't feel good.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
But it could be just one way to stay within reach of the game.
Yeah,
because that hand wasn't very strong.
You need a lot next turn. You're probably the one going for the panic research.
Yeah,
it's going to be the Celebrations Mew in the end.
So just hold on to the Forest Hill for now.
Yeah, keep Mew available. It can try and get you towards some of these pieces for next turn, of course. You can grab Ultra Ball proactively. That would be great.
Needs to get value out of this final bench space. You know, it doesn't have the luxury of the Pidgeot V to run away and hide and cower with Vanishing Wings. You're actually taking a slot, of course.
This hand is really poor for Robin. He needs help from this Mew desperately.
One card from unlocking it with Mew and can do it with
I
things
think
like
the best
Ultra Ball
thing to
later.
hold is, the best thing to hold here is Ultra Ball. That's definitely your favorite hit here. Countercatcher's not your favorite hit.
Yeah, not ideal once again.
Man, Robin is holding on to Boss, Countercatcher, Boss,
but doesn't reveal too much, which is, you know, with Erin won't be like, oh, I have to take out this Mew because your hand's really bad. If I can start taking out
we know how bad it is. You're right. Erin doesn't know.
So the Mew could still be hanging around for one more turn, and at that stage, that could find a way to bail Robin out as well. But of course, you know, we have the eyes in the sky here. We have so much knowledge with the caster cams that we can see how detrimental that hand can be sometimes.
I don't know if Erin can actually get there either with just an oh, it's going to be Iono. So yeah, an Arven wasn't enough. Robin, man, to be in that seat right now, to feel what Robin's feeling, that awful, awful hand going to the bottom of the deck. To have 6 fresh ones is fantastic, and there's no guarantees here that Erin can get their first rare candy online either.
Again, doesn't look too strong. Is a Radiant, is that a Charmander or so? That's a Pidgeot EX.
Does Erin retreat into Mew now?
I think so.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing. Protect Charmander as well as look towards your own Mysterious Tail here.
When do you temper the Lost City as well to kind of reduce more unusable, unplayable cards from your opponent?
Yeah. We've said that sometimes taking that one prize knockout can be detrimental, so you're okay going down a prize early. You don't enjoy it. You'd prefer to be setting the pace, but in this instance, you pretty much just have to accept that if you whiff your rare candies, this is what happens.
Could have been one rare candy away from just setting up the board with a Pidgeot EX.
Yeah, it really feels like a rags. It's like an all or nothing story. You get the Pidgeot, then comes the Charizard. If you get neither, your board looks like this.
Yeah, this deck obviously another evolution of, you know, Charizard with Arceus and Pidgeot EXs as well. The Arceus being able to Starburst for 2 pieces. It's just a pass over initiative over to Robin with the Iono, but of course it's just single prizes available now.
Robin has a ton of rare candy in this hand as well, so should be popping off on their own end.
Just to share some with his opponent would have been great, and have another
rare candies. Okay.
Another super bonbon.
I think it's just, is it Pidgeot or is it just Charizard? Oh, it's both.
Okay, both.
Has both. My goodness, this is the difference.
What an Iono could do. Right?
Yeah. Where were we last turn?
Doesn't even need to use quick search yet.
Yeah, doing it Infernal Rain first. You can pivot your Mew happily. And you can start swinging with Charizard EX.
Start applying as much pressure as possible.
Quick search following up as well. You can continue to develop your board even more. It's going to be just immediately for Charmeleon, I think.
We were just talking about how bad Robin's hand was. Erin's hand.
The script has been flipped.
Yeah, it's gone full 180 here.
One Iono later, and now it's Erin on the back foot. Robin going to be taking the initial prizes and has a better hand, and obviously the Pidgeot developed. Everything you could ask for.
Again, stranger things have happened.
Here comes Boss's orders for Pidgey.
Oh.
Even denying Erin's ability to bounce back here.
Seems like a mirror of game 1 where Erin targeted Robin's Pidgey on the second turn as well. But here's the top deck. Could be massive. It's a Charizard EX. Nothing else going on. But
dig for rare candy.
We're digging again.
Back here again. Mysterious Tail.
One rare candy will unlock.
Do me a favor.
An opportunity to have a big EX as well.
We do get there. I think that's the rare candy. And then a ton of energy that you can just cherry pick immediately.
Yeah, well targeted by Robin, of course, taking out the Pidgey as well. Because now it could have been a chain of evolution into the Pidgeot EX, into the Charizard. But now it's just the Charizard EX to deal with. Infernal Rain coming down, free energies from the deck.
Yeah, the good news for Erin is Robin's taken a single prize knockout, so you can be in control of counter catcher when you need to, and you're happiest going 2-2-2. And there's already that Pidgeot EX down for Robin, so you can try and make that come together fairly routinely here. And that can still be handy for you. Going behind in the prize race isn't always a bad thing, especially when you're punching into your opponent's Charizard for a decent chunk, getting some good tempo on your end.
Still over 10 minutes to go in this game 2. Just double checking the resources that have gone through on Robin's side of the board so far. Both players with their Charizard EXs up and running. Another Charmander hits the field as well. Looks like Erin may not have access to another Pidgey once again.
It's just going to be Charizard coming in for a swing. Not a bad thing, as we said, for the prize race, but yeah, the board state is ideal.
We saw it game 1, right? They were just swinging into one another. 180 here, 210 here.
It's literally just a sprinkle of dice because I know I'll finish that Pokemon off later when Charizard's hitting a ridiculous amount of damage.
Another
Robin
Pidgey
has,
in hand.
Yeah, another Pidgey. Already has quick search, so can sculpt something together here. Is it a window of opportunity to use the boss's orders now, get yourself back onto those even prizes? Or do you want to do it later when possibly Pidgey hits the board again for Erin? You could just be content making another Charizard here.
Yeah, just a quick search. Few options available. Remember, just both players playing 3 boss's orders in their lists, if I'm not mistaken.
3 and countercatcher.
Yeah.
That's a lot of gust.
It's a lot of gust. We know how powerful that is. Looks like the boss's orders has been placed down.
I've already mentioned that it's really nice to get yourself back onto the even prize trade. Taking out the Mew when there's no Pidgey around does seem pretty reasonable.
All those support Pokemon just going down, potentially.
Yeah.
It's not yet chosen as a target, potentially.
Yeah. The fact that we're shuffling, though, and I don't think Robin's going to be taking boss, then just Ionoing it to the bottom. You would you'd want to use the quick search after. So definitely an indication that boss is going to be played here.
Again, I've seen stranger things on streams.
Not from Robin, though. Come on. Well, champ we're talking about here. International champ we're talking about here.
One game down, though. Erin potentially taking out a previous world champion. Or not taking out completely, because Robin could still maybe make it if he does end up losing this game, but does target the Mew, as we have mentioned already. A couple of support Pokemon already just targeted down here. Bit of an over KO by the Charizard
Just a bit,
DX.
yeah. That poor Mew never stood a chance.
Poor Mew, poor Pidgey.
Robin going down to just 4 prize cards, back on the even trade, which is really important. And does allow Erin to get the response KO into this heavily damaged Charizard EX.
Not a good top deck, though. Battle VIP pass.
Oh, that's not what you need. When you don't have your engine Pokemon, you need your hand to be firing with supporters. That's not what's happened so far.
Will we see an attachment to the Radiant Charizard just to kind of prep it a little? It's got an NG in hand.
We also have to vanish the Pidgeot V.
Yep.
If you are taking prizes on the Charizard EX this turn. You don't want to give the opponent the easy boss's orders play again. So Lost Vacuum for the Lost City, or your own Forest of Stone.
Yep. Just kind of remove, I guess, a potential Super Rod out.
Yeah, gets rid of VIP pass. Lost Zone and all the discard is basically the same at this stage.
Yep,
you don't want to say it, but it's not going to affect the game at all, is it?
There you go.
Fine. There goes the Vanishing Wings.
Very good.
Out of the limelight, out of the line of fire for Robin. That would certainly have been the choice next turn with a quick search.
Yeah, I've been susceptible to leaving it by accident on the board before. So
should have done that. I've announced my attack now.
Damn it. But very well identified. Doesn't want to give Robin easy 2 prizes.
And it's going to be leveling up this prize trade, taking out Robin's current only Charizard EX. It is also going to be lost zoned as well. We've already said that Robin doesn't really play any other attackers. Has the Rotom, and then just its Charizard line from there. No Radiant on his end.
Yep, the prizes there, again, not the prettiest for Erin, but, you know, like I said, leveling up the prizes here. Was a Charizard EX in the hand now, and another Lost City. One rare candy could unlock a bit more. But
the good news is this Charizard's not going to be knocked out. It's you know, it can stick on the board for a couple of turns. You don't need to immediately draw out. Robin's eyeing up an Ultra Ball now. Can get Charizard EX into the mix. Also, I think already has it in hand, so can just grab Charmander as well. Continue to develop. No shame in that. No problem with that at all.
Having to start swinging away with a total of 3 Charizard EXs potentially.
Who needs Radiant Charizard when he can hit for 30?
990 total HP between them.
That's a lot of prizes. That's a lot of hit points for just 2 prizes apiece. Some energy might be considered coming back into the deck with the Super Rod now as well. Exactly what we're going to see. 3 fire.
Still needs potential pivot options if Erin does somehow gust up one of those annoying little single prizes.
I think Robin wants to proactively grab a piece, and the rare candy definitely makes sense here. If you grab a piece of your Charizard now, it means you can grab the next piece next turn and then play Iono afterwards. So you've formulated Charizard this turn, you're working towards your next Charizard EX on the following turn. You would do that pre-Iono, and then you start disrupting your opponent, which is looking really good. So you can see sometimes the quick search is for the here and now, and sometimes it's for planning the following turn. That's what this rare candy is signifying.
We're back to that sort of chess matchup here, where we're just kind of swinging away. Another big little bit of damage. 240 now.
Yep. Both Charizards dealing the same amount currently, as we are level in the prize trade.
Deck. Ooh, that's a mana fee, isn't it?
This is where things start getting ugly for Erin. You can swing back. Robin's going to KO your EX, and then you're in top deck mode for real. You're not even getting any benefit from prize card draw. It's just going to be the 240 damage, and this is exactly what Robin needs. Might need to start playing a little bit quicker if they're going to conclude this game. But positionally, we're in a good spot. So Robin's going to try and identify the best way around this. And has to do it fast, because we're only down to 3 minutes and 45 at the minute.
Yeah, so Robin taking an additional 2 prizes, likely on this turn.
He's going to go for another Charizard EX, as mentioned. I feel like this is definitely the best line. Your opponent hasn't done anything, though, so you probably don't even Iono. You could just Arvin if you wanted to.
I was thinking
Candy
that.
Charizard.
Because Erin would still need a way to maybe weave in that Radiant Charizard to attack here.
Yeah, you can pop an energy onto Mew. Just throw your energy onto Jirachi as well. Have everything ready to pivot if required.
And then once the Radiant Charizard, if there's a Fire Energy, of course, does swing in, take a knockout, Robin's able to then kind of swing quite big, because Erin would only have single prizes as well. And Erin would need the Rare Candy Charizard combo once again.
And yeah, the hand is ugly for Erin. This is still a tough call for Robin, though. So it's going to be tough to see if Robin can actually close out this game with enough turns left.
Would you see a retreat into the...
That's also a big debate here. If you do retreat your Charizard EX, I actually quite like giving the opponent prizes in a way. Because it just makes your Burning Darkness so much more powerful and devastating towards the late game. But we saw Erin was able to just have a purely 1 prize board state and bought a turn out of it, even, and then was able to research for the win.
Yeah, looks
with
like
the attachment to the active, that is going to be Robin's choice, you would think.
Yeah, it looks like an indication there. Just kind of protecting it. Still have the 2 attackers on board.
If you can get both Charizard EX to tank, that is massive. You're saying again to Erin that you have to not only have Candy Charizard, but also a boss's orders on this turn.
Gust of some sort.
Oh yeah, or Counter Catcher, you're right.
There's the retreat.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. It leaves 1 Fire Energy remaining in the deck for Robin. But you can work around with that.
With the Pidgeot EX. There it is.
It is going to be the response KO on the Charizard EX. Robin going down to 2 prize cards remaining. Erin in a tough predicament, and Alex is doing the drums on the desk right now for a top deck.
Top deck mode here.
Because without that, we're in a bit of a pickle.
Has a Fire Energy in the hands. Is that's enough to
Charizard's ready to go.
It's just a gust away from maybe tying up the prizes. Charmander's going to be moved to the active, is it? Oh, more second guessing of one another. There's a Radiant Charizard. Here we go. Top deck, everyone.
All right. I think Robin will have just enough time to conclude this game if we think,
oh,
it's the Arvin.
It's massive. But which way does he go now?
Well, Counter Catcher EX looks really good.
That's just given so many different avenues and routes to go down. It's not just a 1 card. Oh, okay.
You can even get Defiance back. You can KO Pidgeot here.
Oh, this could be a full swing. I mean, there's still 2 Charizards to deal with, but Arvin
is just that guy right now.
Which route will you take, Erin? So many options.
Going for Rare Candy, perhaps. Definitely a perhaps. Definitely an asterisk towards that one. I mean, it's still tough.
Charizard EX cannot be taken out by Robin, right? In 1 hit.
True. The bulk of the Charizard gives you more than just this turn of tempo. You'd put yourself in that position where you would need to... Oh, here we go. It's the...
Oh, he's seen it.
You can go Counter Catcher plus Defiance Band, and then there's no guarantee that Robin can Iono you back either. So maybe your prize cards help you out towards getting that last Charizard. No, it is going to be the Rare Candy instead.
He's second-guessing himself. We're second-guessing everything we say.
I don't know what's best here,
correct?
Honestly. We're into time, so Erin is also thinking about that.
Yes, of course. The Forest Silverstone, a card just to be foddered away. Nope.
And the fact that Robin only has 1 energy does make these panic gusting plays pretty interesting, I would say.
Yeah, just a shuffle up here. I didn't have a glance of the energy count that was available in Erin's deck as well. Oh, so many key decisions to be made here.
Candy Zard is now on the table thanks to Arvin. There's the attachment of Radiant Charizard and Swing. It doesn't feel great though.
Robin needs 2 attacks, right?
Yep.
Has used 2 boss already, so only has access to 1 boss left.
That's also true.
So can Erin maneuver away where...
Has to move the Radiant this turn.
Has to have the Charizard EX into the active spot.
Yeah. The promoting of the Radiant Charizard right at the start of the turn before we had access to the Arvin.
So close to moving the Charmander to the
You can
active.
see why it was a debate. I was thinking just shove the Radiant Charizard, of course,
yeah,
but no.
Does play the one escape rope, but obviously can't get it right now.
Here comes Candy Charizard then. It's going to be the Infernal Rain. Let's thin some of these energies out. Let's have some attackers lined up.
Is it protect your board? There's one. Two energies.
So we can turn attach to Radiant Charizard and have... Or do you put all three on the active so you can pay retreat next turn?
That's what I was just thinking. Is that a way out here? Just double checking the hand.
He's still going to be in top deck mode next turn.
Yeah, still asking so much of his deck.
You want to take the fire energy out of the deck just so you don't draw it. There's no doubt about that.
But where's it go? Is Erin going to commit?
If you're putting one on Charizard, you've got to put two. It's like it either goes both on the active or both on the bench.
Yeah,
I think there's no in between here.
Starting to realize.
I really like this choice.
I think
because we're in turns of time, this is what we have to do. We have to swing this turn, and then next turn retreat into Charizard EX and hope that that is too large and that Robin cannot work towards. Or do it this turn. That's also the case. Yeah, that can work as well.
I don't think you swing because you take the knockout from Robin's side, and then just the one boss would allow you to gust up the Charmander or Manaphy.
Sure.
So, it has
you're
to
forcing
be
a multiple of gusts.
Yes.
Yeah. But you can also just punch the Charizard, right? You can punch the EX. Your opponent doesn't know that there's no Churro or Collapsed, I suppose. So, if Robin wants to play around it, it would be that way round. But the amount of Gust remaining means Robin probably actually just has to hit the active here.
It's still top deck mode, as you mentioned. Yeah. It's still an escape rope of something.
There was a way that Erin could have won on prizes in time, which was super interesting, but has gone for this approach instead. Robin has Quick Search. Just going to Ultra Ball out another Pidgeot EX here. The only jeopardy for Robin is that he has, I think, just one energy remaining. There's one in the hand, possibly, so maybe two remaining. Plays 8 in the list total.
Yeah, this is...
I think Robin should be pretty well set here.
Crunch time. It looks
Erin's
like
given up
in a good
the
position.
prize game plan. That's just gone now. You've paid retreat. We're saying, well, you know, try and make it difficult for Robin to win in 2 attacks. Defiance Band doesn't matter. Iono's going to come in now. So any scheme that Erin had, you know, Robin might be sat there thinking, Erin's made a really strange line here. He must have a certain hand to make that correct. This is Robin's first turn of time.
Okay, so
he has 2 attacks. Iono's allowed this turn. Then you can look to Boss's Orders next turn to close the game. We know that there is no Professor Churro in Erin's deck list. So Robin should be okay to close out this game here. With a Quick Search coming in post-Iono. It's going to be the Boss's Orders. We know it's in the deck. So I think it looks like Robin will close out this second game in just enough time.
Yeah, there's the escape rope. I mean, Erin's mindset would be trying to just hope the final boss is somewhere in the prizes or somewhere in the discard already. Because, of course, that Iono pushed Erin closer to that escape rope, hoping to survive and tank a hit with the Charizard EX and then just give up one prize. But looks like Robin's found a way out. We'll get confirmation as we play out these final couple of turns, Just
it's not exciting, but it's plenty right now for Robin. The swing of Burning Darkness for 240 damage once again. Erin, can he find a way of denying Robin a simple attack? Is that a counter catcher coming into the hand? It is.
Counter catcher. So with Boss already grabbed into the hand, it's just an energy, right?
Yeah, that can be Quick Search, let's not forget.
Yep. Escape rope being played. This
would be a much scarier choice for Robin if there wasn't already a tool committed to Radiant Charizard, because there'd be the threat of Defiance Band. But with the Forest Seal Stone actually on the Radiant Charizard, I'm pretty sure Robin is happy to promote Pidgeot here.
Yep.
He's already got the Boss's Orders, so if there's a Candy Charizard or anything like that from Erin, doesn't matter. You can just use your Boss's Orders to close the game.
I mean,
it is going to be the Pidgeot.
What happens if there was suddenly an Iono knockout of this Pidgeot EX?
Yeah, Charizard, Candy Charizard, Pidgeot EX, KO, could be a thing.
You can KO with the Radiant. No, it just comes up. Yeah, it just comes up, gets knocked out.
It's going to be Counter Catcher on Jirachi instead now. So Robin kind of called the bluff there. And we know that Robin can quick search for Fire Energy if it's not already in the hand. We can pay retreat to this Jirachi.
There it is.
And we can boss his orders back the Charizard EX. For the final 2 prizes for Robin in the final turn of time is going to tie up the series here for 1 game apiece. Yeah. Really exceptional gameplay from both players. And Robin felt so close to winning that first game.
Yep.
It was taken away from him.
Yep.
And in that second game, he was just about able to have enough resources remaining in the deck to close out in this second game.
Round 14, our penultimate. Is it penultimate round?
It is.
Penultimate round of day 2.
Where am
before top 8. It's just, there's so much going on. I've had to try and figure out this whole back and forth between one another. Tying up this series, 1-1, Charizard mirror match. Both players still in contention for a top 8 spots.
I believe so, yeah.
On 32 points right now, so 1 win potentially away. Normally we see sort of 34 points as a kind of bubble.
Right.
Could be the 35 this time. We haven't quite worked it out, of course. But fantastic to see both players showcasing Charizard EX. We've seen a lot of Charizard EX